Okay, problem 4 involves taking a string, an array of strings, and reversing the order. Let's uncomment this. And so if it starts out Larry, Curly, Moe, John, Paul, George, and Ringo, then when I reverse it, Ringo will be here, and then George, and then Paul, and then John, and then Moe, and then Curly, and Larry. So one way to solve this is take this item and swap them. Add 1 to this index, so now I'm pointing at Curly. Subtract 1 from this index, and now I'm pointing at George. Swap those two. And we need 3 instructions to do a swap. So let's go to reverse. And static void reverse string array, one-dimensional array, so there's no comma in there. We'll call it names. And size, which is the number of items in the array. Okay. So in this case, in this particular example, size is 7, which means my array elements go from 0 to 6. So let's do this. Int, let's call it front equals 0, and int back equals size minus 1. So I'm going to have a pointer to the front of the array and a pointer to the back of the array. And then what I'm going to do is 4. Now I only need to go halfway through. If I go all the way through, then I'll swap everything twice, and I'll end up with the array that I started with. So what I want to do is I want to go int I equals 0, semicolon I is less than size divided by 2, I plus plus. Okay, now let's double check this, make sure we don't go too far or stop too soon. If size is 7 and I divide it by 2 using integer division, I'll get 3. Okay, which means I will swap items 0, 1, and 2 with items 6, 5, and 4. And item 3 will just stay where it is. If I've got an odd number of items in the array, the middle one just stays put. Now let's see what happens if we've got like an even number like 4. If I take 4 and divide it, or I'm sorry, 8 and divide it by 2, I get 4. And I'll go 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are all less than 4. And I'll swap them with the last 4. So this looks like it's going to work. So that tells me how many times I need to go through the loop. I'm not actually going to use I in the loop here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little swap here. Remember, we need that temporary holding area when we do a swap. And what I want to do is I want to take the names, and I want to take what's at the front and store it in there. And then take what's at names in the front and copy what is in the names list at the back. And then I can take what's at the names list in the back and put in that temp value from before. Okay, and that should do it. If we go back up here and reverse them, I'm going to print them out in the original order, then I'm going to reverse them, and I'm going to print them out in the new order, and I've got print names down here to do that for me. Or just print, I guess it is. Yeah, and the names is the parameter I pass in. Okay, so let's run it now. And we get Larry, Curly, Moe, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And if they're reversed, it should be Ringo, George. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Larry should be at the bottom. George didn't get swapped. Paul didn't get swapped. John didn't get swapped. Okay, so either I'm going too far. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I forgot something real important here. Got to move on to the next one. So I got to do front plus plus and back minus minus. Okay, now see if we get better results. Okay, Larry, Curly. Larry, Curly. Third one is Moe, Moe, John, John, Paul, Paul, George, George, Ringo, Ringo. They are reversed like they're supposed to be, and that's the solution to problem number 4 on the practice test.